Week 8 of the 2021 NFL season kicks off with, hey, look at the colors behind me. The Green Bay Packers versus the Arizona Cardinals on Thursday Night Football. It's going to be a good one. 6-1 versus 7-0. The number 4 ranked team in our power rankings, the Green Bay Packers, versus the number 1 ranked team in our power rankings, the Arizona Cardinals. Should be a good one, regardless of who's active and who's not active in this game. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a brand new episode of Time2Football. My name is Hassan Khan, the host of the show that we like to call Time2Football. Glad you guys are joining us. Actually, this color combination I am not a fan of. It is actually Christmas. That's what it seems like. That's the vibe that I'm getting right now. But every Thursday I just do half. One side is one team, and then the other half is the other team. So we got some green over here. We got some red over here. Reminds me of Christmas. Reminds me of the Mexican flag as well. Reminds me of just leave your color combinations down below. What does green and red remind you of? That color combination. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Hey, you guys are joining us in the chat right now as we are speaking and doing this episode of Time to Football. So I encourage you guys to continue to leave your comments and leave your chats or your comments down in the chat below. Actually, as a matter of fact, I'll acknowledge a few of you guys. Mauricio. I still don't know how to pronounce your name, but I will get it right eventually one day. Morning, everyone. Let's get this bread. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's get it. Let's get that bread. T2F. Yes, sir. What's up, dude? What's up? That's from Chauncey TV. Miguel, buenos dias a todos. Hello. Thank you for joining in, Miguel. I really appreciate you being a loyal fan. And then good morning, brother. Hope all is well. James Stark, you're a loyal listener as well, watching. And a lot of you guys are leaving your fantasy football questions as well. So I'm going to get you guys answering those questions later on in this episode of Time to Football. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Come on. Yes, sir. Preem Fields. Boiling Point. Go check them out. Kick-ass band. Awesome. They have some bangers out there. And if you don't know the story behind that, I discovered that theme song from a Dude Perfect video that included Ryan Tannehill in there when he was with the Dolphins back in 2013. And then I reached out to the band because a buddy of mine, his cousin, played in the band as well. So I reached out to them and I was like, hey, can I use the song as a theme song? They said, absolutely. So that's the story behind that theme song. Anyways, let's get into it. What we got lined up for today's show is we've got NFL news and notes that we're going to be talking about. We've also got a little bit of Thursday night preview. Want to just recap Thursday Night Football or preview what's going to be happening with the ever so great Joe Buck commentating that game. Hey, listen, I will say this about Joe Buck, though. He is putting in the work. Like the World Series, doing that on top of Thursday Night Football. So he was in Houston on Tuesday and Wednesday when they had the World Series. So I'm guessing like right after that game, which my Braves unfortunately did lose, he had to probably fly out to Arizona. And now he's hanging out there. And then he's going to go all the way across the country to Atlanta for Friday and Saturday for the Braves Astros. So, hey, say what you want about Joe Buck. You know, there's a lot of criticism like, oh, he's kind of monotone. Mitchell. Down to the 25 or whatever. But he puts in the work. And, like, he has a good awareness of, like, sportscasting and commentating games. The only thing he just needs to get better at is enunciation or energy, at least. And he does that on purpose. He's not energetic on purpose. Although that Minneapolis Miracle call was one of his best of all time. Anyways, NFL news and notes that we've got going around. Oh, Thursday Night Football preview. That's what we got to talk about. Yeah, the Cardinals and the Packers. So the Packers are without Davante Adams and Alan Lazard. Both of them have COVID. Davante Adams did not fly out with the team. So, I mean, they're already saying he's unlikely to play. He's not going to be playing. If you're not flying out with the team, you're not playing. So he's not going to be playing in this game against the Arizona Cardinals. So at this point, are the Packers depleted? Do they even have a chance in this game against the Arizona Cardinals? I'm going to say yes, they do have a chance. Because we've seen it in years past where Davante Adams will be out of the game and Aaron Rodgers somehow, some way gets it done. So this could be a very run-heavy Aaron Jones kind of game. Aaron Rodgers could get it very much well done. Put up 300 yards and 3 touchdowns with just the likes of Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Amari Rogers, Robert Tonyan, all of them. It's very, very doable. And then on the flip side, you've got the Arizona Cardinals, who are just continuing to roll. They unfortunately lost J.J. Watt. He's expected to have season-ending surgery on his shoulder. He hurt his shoulder in last week's game, and they had to take him out. Or no, actually, I think he played through it, but then he didn't practice the week after, or this week. So that's because his shoulder is banged up, and he's going to have to get season-ending injuries. So unfortunately, that sucks for the Arizona defense. But yeah, I mean, leave your thoughts, leave your comments down below. Who do you think is going to win this game? Is it going to be the Packers or is it going to be the Cardinals? I'm interested to see everybody's opinions and hear about it. NFL news and notes that's going around the league right now. We've already covered the Packers, being without Devontae Adams, Allen Lazard. Then you got the Arizona Cardinals going to be without J.J. Watt. So this is some news that just came out per Ian Rappaport yesterday after we ended our stream. I hopped on Twitter and I saw this. Ian Rappaport says that the Panthers are not expected to pursue Deshaun Watson at this time. So it was just Miami, and then it opened up to Miami and Carolina, and now it's back to just Miami. That's in the running to land Deshaun Watson. It could be happening this week. Dude, it could be happening right now as we are speaking, because I just heard my phone vibrate, and it's not a notification about Deshaun Watson. So, hey, but it could happen at any moment. Deshaun Watson could be traded. Could happen. But the Carolina Panthers are out of the running, according to Ian Rappaport. Mark Ingram has been traded to the New Orleans Saints. The former Pro Bowl running back when he was with the New Orleans Saints, was drafted by them in 2011, was kind of the ground and pound kind of guy, and Alvin Kamara worked in there as the receiving back, scat back, whatever you want to call him. And there was a pretty lethal duo. Now, I think Mark Ingram is a little bit past his prime at this point, but still, they wanted to bring in some sort of depth because Tony Jones has been injured. Devin Ezigbo, if that's how you pronounce his name, I think was working as the number 2 back. You've got Lamar Miller that they signed to the practice squad as well. But they wanted some running back depth, and they added in Mark Ingram, traded him from the Houston Texans. Now, Mark Ingram led the team, the Texans, with 92 carries. That is gone. Who's going to be the next man up, the person that's going to stand up? It's going to be Philip Lindsay and David Johnson. And I expect out of any one of those two, Philip Lindsay to be the lead dog, because David Johnson is expected just to keep on having a limited role, maybe being a receiving back, whatever it may be. But Philip Lindsay in week 1 had 8 carries. Since then, it's kind of diminished because they've been behind in games. But I think it's going to lean more in that direction where he gets double-digit touches moving forward. So Philip Lindsay could be a little bit, for you guys that play fantasy football, fantasy relevant at this point. Keep that in mind. Javon Kinlaw, the former first-round pick for the San Francisco 49ers, defensive tackle, he's expected to have season-ending injury. Some people are already labeling him as a bust. I would not get to that point just yet. It's still very early on. It's only been a year. But Javon Kinlaw is expected to have season-ending knee surgery, which is a big blow for the San Francisco 49ers. Johnny Smith, speaking of practice news now, Johnny Smith had a shoulder injury, was taken out of the game against the New York Jets. He was limited in practice, so there is a chance that he gets to play this week against the Los Angeles Chargers, and if he does, the Chargers give up the second most fantasy points to tight ends, but we expect Hunter Henry to eat up in that game, especially if Johnny Smith isn't there. It's Hunter Henry. Chargers are already bad at stopping tight ends, plus it's the revenge game, and Hunter Henry has had 4 touchdowns in the last 4 games. So, big day for Hunter Henry is expected. Speaking of another tight end, George Kittle is expected to be back in week 8. Or was it week 9? I believe it's week 9 that he's expected to be back. So the return is imminent. It's happening. It's going to be happening soon. Maybe not this week, but the week after, George Kittle is expected to be back. Antonio Gibson, he's still limited in practice due to a shin injury. I would not be worried about his status against the Denver Broncos. I would be worried about the play calling of Ron Rivera featuring J.D. McKissick a lot more than Antonio Gibson. Hey, we're 2-5. We're 2-5 here. Maybe we should feature one of the better players in our offense. Probably the most talented offensive playmaker that you guys have. Behind Scary Terry, probably, but Antonio Gibson. You saw what he did against the Dallas Cowboys last year on Thanksgiving. Are we waiting till Thanksgiving week this year, again, to feature Antonio Gibson? Hey, it's okay. It's okay. He's dealing with an injury, so that's probably why he's been so limited. But he has a shin injury. He was limited in practice, and it seems like he's just going to get back into the swing of things, and slowly but surely, he's going to be. I think he's going to go back to being 20 plus touches sooner rather than later for Antonio Gibson once his shin heals up. Another running back that's been hurt, Miles Sanders. He's not been practicing. We expected this. Obviously, he has a low ankle sprain. Now, we did report on this show that, according to multiple people, the injury to Miles Sanders is not as bad as people may think. So, if you guys that rush to get Kenneth Gainwell or Boston Scott and are just relying on especially Gainwell to be your fantasy football savior, bad news for you, dude. I think Miles Sanders is coming back in the next 2 to 4 weeks max. I don't think it's that bad of a low ankle sprain. Another running back that had a low ankle sprain, as a matter of fact, is Saquon Barkley. And to kind of put that in perspective, he's missed some games, but he's going to be expected to be back pretty soon because he's been spotted at practice working on the side with the trainers and certain kind of drills, as well as Kadarius Toney, his teammate, as well. So if that gives you any sort of indication about the ankle sprain and the longevity of how long a player is going to be out, it just kind of varies because I know that I think Latavius Murray is also dealing with the same thing, but his might be a little bit longer of a timetable to return. So it just kind of varies. But Miles Sanders and Saquon Barkley you got optimism with those two guys that they're going to be back pretty soon. Speaking of the New York Giants, though, Saquon Barkley and Kadarius Toney's teammate, Evan Ingram, is actually generating trade interest at this point. Now, there's been talks about certain teams that he could go to. The Indianapolis Colts, the New Orleans Saints, the Buffalo Bills, now that Dawson Knox has been hurt, have been in talks and conversations of landing the former Pro Bowl tight end. So it could happen. But since his rookie season, Evan Ingram just hasn't really been living up to that first-round potential label that he has. Now, I think he's had like a season or two after that where he's been great, but since then, I mean, he's had every opportunity to excel this year with the injuries that the Giants have had to the playmakers on offense with Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton, Kenny Galladay, Kadarius Toney, all of them being hurt. He hasn't been able to capitalize on that opportunity. He's getting the targets, but he hasn't been able to capitalize. So Evan Ingram is in trade talks at this point. Jarvis Landry, not practicing, has a knee injury, hurt his knee against the Denver Broncos. Not practicing. His status is unclear for this week against the Pittsburgh Steelers. His teammate, Baker Mayfield, says it's a possibility that he does play this week. If he doesn't, then it's going to be Case Keenum again against the Steelers. And then lastly, Antonio Brown. This is kind of bad news. Suffered an ankle injury. We know about that. That kept him out last week against the Chicago Bears. But this time around, he was spotted at practice with a crutch. So it might be more serious than we may think, and he may miss at least a couple more games if he's spotted with a crutch. Who knows? Maybe he's just trying to throw everyone off, and he's fine, and he can play. But that is your NFL news and notes for today, Thursday, October 28th. All right, let's take a little bit of a break right now, and let's talk a little bit about something I've been talking about for the majority of the season. Engineered sleep. Hey guys, how much sleep did you get last night? Let's get serious. Did you know that you spend roughly a third of your life in bed? That's a lot of your life. You think about it, on average 6 to 8 hours a night and over 220,000 hours in a lifetime. If you're not getting quality sleep, it has a severe negative impact on everything the next day. Whether it's a test, meetings, presentations, or just everyday tasks, you want to be your best no matter what. The sleep experts at Engineered Sleep have been at it for over 100 years of total experience. They've cracked the code to getting better sleep. They ask the right questions to get you exactly what you need so you can sleep better. We partnered up with them to get you 10% off, which is up to $250, and get 2 free pillows if you use the promo code T2F. Click that link in the description and use the promo code T2F and get a better night's sleep. These guys crush it. They have a 5-star Google rating, and all their products are 100% American-made. Don't sleep on this offer. Great guys at Engineered Sleep. Glad we're working with them. Now we're going to get into the segment where we talk about weekly picks. So we do this every single week. We just give you, we ask polls on Instagram on who you guys feel like is going to win in each game. And then we just show you guys the results, and we give you our insight on who we think is going to win on top of that as well. So I went ahead and made the graphics. I'm going to go ahead and commentate over this. And then I'm going to get back to you guys. So for you guys that have an early head start to this live show, you get to see the weekly picks. We're going to split this video up, post it up later in about a couple of hours. So let me go ahead and switch it over to the graphics, and let's go ahead and get this show on the road. For some reason, my mic is check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Sorry. Hey, we're live, brother. We're live. This is what you get. This is what you get on a live show. Testing. 1 2 1 2. All right. Okay. All right. Now we're good. Okay. Sweet. Here we go. Round 2. Haha. Forget what just happened. Week 8 kicks off with arguably the game of the week, the Green Bay Packers versus the Arizona Cardinals. Both teams are ranked in the top 5 in our power rankings. However, Green Bay has an uphill battle without Devontae Adams and Allen Lazard. As for the undefeated Cardinals, hey, maybe they're just better than everyone. According to the polls that we took on Instagram, you guys believe they are the top dog. They are better than everyone. 73% are voting for the Cardinals to win, while 27% like the Packers. We like the Cardinals to win by 4. Halloween 2021 will feature the Cincinnati Bengals and the New York Jets. Coming off an incredible victory against the Baltimore Ravens, are the Bengals legitimate Super Bowl contenders? As for the Jets, Mike White will be starting in place of the injured Zach Wilson. Looking at the polls, we're favoring the Bengals to win in this one. 94% of you like Cincinnati, while 6% are taking New York. We're taking Cincy to win by 17. AFC South matchup between the Tennessee Titans and the Indianapolis Colts. The Titans dismantled the Kansas City Chiefs, whereas the Colts have won 3 of their last 4 games after starting 0-3. Looking at the polls, we're going with King Henry. 83% like the Tennessee Titans to win, while 17% like the Colts. We're taking the Titans by 5. One of the best teams in our power rankings face one of the worst teams in our power rankings. The Los Angeles Rams versus the Houston Texans. The lethal combination of Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp continues to roll on. As for the Texans, Tyrod Taylor has been activated from injured reserve and has a good shot of playing this Sunday. But according to you guys on Instagram, that's irrelevant. 92% of you are favoring the Rams to win, while 8% like the Texans. We're favoring the fans and going with the Rams to win by 21. AFC North battle between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns. Fresh off a bye week, the Steelers are hoping the extra week was enough to fix their offensive struggles. For the Browns, Nick Chubb is back at practice and could play this Sunday. But looking at the polls, we're favoring the Browns and the run game. 66% over the Pittsburgh Steelers are favored to win by 34% of you. We like the Steelers in an upset to win by 2. Two teams that have been struggling go head-to-head. The Philadelphia Eagles versus the winless Detroit Lions. Criticism still surrounds the play calling of Nick Sirianni and the play of Jalen Hurts. Meanwhile, the Lions are playing their hearts out, but end up losing at the end. Will this week be any different? Not according to you guys on Instagram. 66% are favoring the Eagles, while 34% are favoring the Lions. We like the Eagles to win in a close one, to win by 1. The San Francisco 49ers travel to Soldier Field to face the Chicago Bears. Sitting at 2-4, this isn't the season that the 49ers had hoped, with their defense surprisingly struggling at times. But the defense could turn it around this week, as Justin Fields and the Chicago offense have had a hard time moving down the field. Looking at Instagram, 79% of you guys are favoring the 49ers, while 21% like the Bears. We're taking the 49ers to win by 10. NFC South rivalry between the Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons. The Panthers want to do everything in their power to prevent a 5-game losing streak. On the opposite side, the Falcons are starting to click, with their offense led by Matt Ryan, Cordero Patterson, and Kyle Pitts being the sole reason why. We're going to continue rolling with that Falcons offense. 56% of you like the Falcons, 44% are favoring Carolina. We're taking Atlanta to win by 3. A tough road game for the Miami Dolphins as they travel to Orchard Park to face the Buffalo Bills. The Dolphins just lost their 5th straight game, while the Bills used their bye week to regroup after losing a close one to the Tennessee Titans. Looking at the polls, 91% of you are favoring the Bills, 9% like the Dolphins, not really giving them a shot. We're going to take the Bills as well to win by 18. A rematch of last year's shutout win, the New England Patriots look to repeat the same result against the Los Angeles Chargers. Though they're 3-4, the Patriots have held their own in some close contests. In the same position as the Bills, the Chargers are coming off a bye week after a disappointing loss to the Baltimore Ravens. But as we turn our attention over to the polls, 83% of you are favoring the Chargers, while 17% are favoring the Patriots. We're taking the Chargers to win by 8. The Jacksonville Jaguars travel across the country to face the Seattle Seahawks. Jacksonville picked up their first win prior to their bye week against the Miami Dolphins. Meanwhile, the Seahawks surprisingly are just half a game better than the Jags, mainly due to the lack of production on offense with Geno Smith at quarterback. And we're taking it to the polls. You believe that the Seahawks are still going to be victorious in this one. 71% favor them, while 29% are favoring the Jags. We're taking the Seahawks to win in this one because we believe that Pete Carroll is going to outcoach Urban Meyer. Seahawks win by 7. A battle of underwhelming defenses. The Washington football team versus the Denver Broncos. Both teams haven't lived up to their expectations defensively and have been lacking strong production on offense to carry their teams to a victory. Both teams seem to be equally matched. And looking at the polls, guess what? They're equally matched. 52% are favoring the Broncos, while 48% are favoring Washington. It's a close one, but I'm going to go with Washington on the road to win by a field goal. How about a little revenge for Jameis Winston? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the New Orleans Saints. The Bucs have won 14 of their last 15 games, but if anyone can pull off this win, it's the Saints, who beat the Bucs in both of their regular season matchups last year. According to the polls, that won't matter. The Bucs are favored to win by 89% of you, while the Saints are favored to win at home by 11% of you. We're taking the Bucs on the road to win by 8. Sunday Night Football, the Dallas Cowboys versus the Minnesota Vikings. Both teams are well rested after a bye week, which was much needed for Dak Prescott, who's dealing with a calf strain. The Vikings offense is quietly one of the best in the NFL, so shootouts can be expected. But if we're looking at the polls, the Cowboys are heavily favored in this one, according to you guys. 74% are favoring the Cowboys, while 26% are favoring the Vikings. We're going to take the upset and take the Vikings at home because they've had so many close losses, but this is the game where they turn it around. Minnesota by 6. And finally, Monday Night Football, the New York Giants versus the Kansas City Chiefs. The Giants' defense has kept them relevant in recent weeks, that they have to deal with the loss of Jabril Peppers this season. The Chiefs have been underwhelming thus far, but could this week be the beginning of a turnaround? Well, if we're looking at the polls, you guys believe that's going to happen. 77% are favoring the Chiefs, while 23% are favoring the Giants. We're taking the Chiefs to win at home by 13. And that is your weekly picks for Week 8. So you saw the numbers of the power rankings right next to the teams' names. The Chiefs are ranked 15th in our power rankings. That's ridiculous. The fact that we had them ranked at number 2 in preseason, right behind the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because they were the runner-up in the Super Bowl. So you'd have to rank them number 2. And they drop all the way down to number 15. Man, what's going on with the Chiefs? I don't know. But hey, that's your weekly picks. Again, I'm going to split that up, put it up as a separate video. So for you guys that like to go back, and I know some of you guys are like in contests where you make your bets and your picks and try to pick against the spread and stuff like that. You want to pick the overs, unders on points and stuff like that. So I'm going to split that up, and I'm going to put it as its own separate videos for you guys that like to watch that. Okay, so now let's get into fan questions. Viewer questions. What do you guys have for me? Talking about some questions that you guys are leaving in the chat down below. Let me go ahead and pull this up on my computer because I can see a little bit better. All right, what do we got? Let me scroll a little bit around here. XXX Lex. Oh, that's a sexy name. David Johnson, Dearness Johnson, Mike Davis, or Tony Pollard this week, PPR. Okay, Dearness might take the role of Kareem Hunt, but I he's obviously going to be taking a little bit of a dip in production. However, the way that he performed would the Cleveland Browns be stupid not to give him more carries? I mean, I would take Dearness Johnson over David Johnson, even though Mark Ingram is gone, over Mike Davis or Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard is just so hit or miss. I have a good feeling that Dearness Johnson is going to fit into that Kareem Hunt role, and it's going to be a 1-2 punch with Nick Chubb. So I'm rolling with Dearness Johnson this week. Ronaldo, need a flex, Gaskin, Waddle, or Kadarius Toney. I know Gaskin is in line to get a kind of an uptick in carries just because of the injury to Malcolm Brown. But I'm going to go with Kadarius Toney in this contest just because, before he got hurt, let me backtrack. When everybody else got hurt, he saw an incredible amount of looks and targets is going his way against the Dallas Cowboys. And then before he got hurt, he had 3 receptions for 36 yards early on in the first quarter. So that tells me that Daniel Jones is going to look his way a lot. And in the game where you're going to have to play keep up, if Kadarius Toney is good to go with that ankle injury, I'd play him in a PPR league. If not, then, oh, gosh. Okay, Waddle. I'd say Waddle. So Kadarius Toney, Waddle, and Gaskin. That's my order right there. Good morning, brother. Hope all is well. Appreciate it, James Stark. Boyd, David Johnson, Crowder, Toney this week. PPR, XXX Lex. Asking again. Let's go with, if Toney can go with Kadarius Toney. If not, sorry about that. Then I would go with Tyler Boyd. Yes, Tyler Boyd. Zobu, good morning from Washington, D.C. Hey, how's it going over there in D.C.? Appreciate you tuning in. Jane here. Okay, so we didn't know your name yesterday, and we called you Spacebar, but you said that your name is Jane. Okay, appreciate you clearing that up. Hey, Jane, how you doing? Thanks for all your advice. No, thank you for tuning in. Really, I'm super grateful that you guys are tuning in and watching every single day as I'm here answering questions. And my my hot brunette wife got me this shirt, and I like it. I like it a lot, but it reminds me a lot of you guys know Steve Wilkos. You know, the guy that does the little lie detector test for cheating or even serious stuff yeah, I'm not even gonna get into all that. But anyways, Steve Wilkos. I like watching his show, and he wears shirts like this. So I feel like I'm Steve Wilkos, which I hate that. I hate that I feel like that, but whatever. Miguel, how should I start in the flex spot, or who should I start in the flex spot? Alex Collins play the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jalen Waddles plays the Bills, or Samaje Perine plays the Jets. Okay, Perine's production I don't think is going to be sustainable that he had last week. I think it's still going to be the Joe Mixon show, so don't really buy in on Samaje Perine. I would go ahead and say that I would play Alex Collins. 16 carries last week in a game where they were getting just dismantled on the ground, having no room to run, but they still continued to feed the ball to Alex Collins. So I think it's going to be the same thing. I thought that Rashad Penny was going to work in there a little bit, and he did, but he only got 6 carries as opposed to Alex Collins got 16 carries. So I would roll with Alex Collins in an easier matchup against the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's what I would roll with. Should I start Jerry Jeudy? You're asking about Jerry Jeudy, right, Zobu? Yes. Washington's defense has just been subpar, especially in the secondary. That's their weak point. So I would start Jerry Jeudy. Jacob Brothers looks more orange like Miami Hurricanes. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. The U. Talking about the lights in the back. You could also talk about green and red. Go and stop from Preem Fields. Yes, sir. Anthony, here at work and no supervisor today or tomorrow. Let the celebration begin. Haha, dude, congrats. You can do whatever the heck you want. PPR, you have Jacoby Myers as a sit this week. Yes, I do. Should I pick up Cobb or MVS, or should I play Gainwell or Gaskin in the flex? I would go with either Gainwell or Gaskin. Preferably Gainwell. I'd preferably go with Gainwell, especially if it's PPR. Boston Scott might get 10 carries on the ground. Kenneth Gainwell might get 7 carries and 5 receptions or something like that. But that's enough production. to be fantasy relevant, especially in PPR, number one, and against the Detroit Lions, who have been bad at stopping running backs. Jane, Bengals or Bengals or Cowboys defense. You don't have to type your name every time, Jane. Now that I know it's Jane, I'm going to remember you. Bengals or Cowboys defense. I'm going to roll with the Bengals. Minnesota's offense is very, very good. Actually, the Cowboys has a drop in fantasy football this week just because, listen, their schedule coming up is not the greatest. And maybe they face the Denver Broncos the week after, but I guess the Minnesota Vikings this week, I can't trust the Cowboys. Jack, hey Hassan, what's up, dude? Stick with Rodgers or go Burrow this week. I am going to roll with stuff. I'm going to roll with Joe Burrow just because he's gotten multiple touchdowns in every game this year and has been a fantasy stud. And I hope you bought in on him when we said to buy in on him because he has been awesome. Christian McDonald, who do I go with? What do I do with Allen Robinson? Okay, that's your question. I don't want to say drop him just yet. Hey, wait till the trade deadline. If November 2nd passes and no trade has occurred, I'm okay dropping Allen Robinson. And I'll put him as a must drop in the video. But I am going to wait until November 2nd, 4 p.m. If he's not traded, get rid of him. XXX Lex, you asked any news on Kadarius Toney? Yeah, so he was working on the side on Wednesday's practice with Saquon Barkley and other players as well. So he's working with a trainer at practice. So I guess you could say that he was limited at practice, but he didn't really participate in like the regular drills that they do. So that's the update on Kadarius Toney. It's more than likely going to be like a questionable tag going into this Sunday or Monday, actually. So that's actually good news. But then again, once they play on Monday Night Football, are you really going to wait out until Monday? Because you could be like, oh, man, do I choose between like Jalen Waddle or Kadarius Toney? Because Waddle plays on Sunday. Kadarius Toney's going to be a game-time decision on Monday. And then you're like, nah, I'm going to take the risk on Toney. And then Monday comes around and it's like, oh, Toney's out, not playing. So that's what's difficult about it. The extra rest does help, but whatever. Joe Buck said his own wife hates his TV voice. LOL. Oh, I did not know that. Is he married to Michelle Beisner? Is that who it is? She used to be sportscaster, I think. She worked for like the Denver Broncos, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Maybe they're divorced. I don't know. I don't keep up with this stuff. I didn't know. Who's Shailene Woodley? My hot brunette wife says all the time. Aaron Rodgers is engaged to Shailene Woodley. I'm like, who the frick is that? Oh, she was in What? Yeah, that movie Divergent. Yeah, that movie that we watched with like the two kids that had cancer. That was another movie besides Divergent. Two kids with cancer. Who the heck is Shailene Woodley? Anyways, yeah, I don't know who keeps up with that stuff. And then like at least 10 NFL players have dated Olivia Munn, to my knowledge. So, anyways, back to answer questions. I think the Arizona defense limits Rodgers and the depleted offense. This is from Chavez Girls. Yeah, that's a hot take. I think Rodgers has proven, though, in my mind, and from just watching Aaron Rodgers, that it does not matter who is his receivers. He's going to get it done. I think we're forgetting about Aaron Jones a lot and A.J. Dillon. So I know A.J. Dillon had that fumble last week, and he was put like in the doghouse and didn't have a lot of carries. But I think it's going to be, if anything, their game plan is going to shift around them. And even in the passing game, you could see a lot of Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon in this game as well. So, it's tough to. I mean, the Arizona defense has been pretty good. But, I mean, it's kind of a risk to put Arizona as like a start in fantasy football this week. Dan, 1-point PPR, Zach Moss versus Miami or Zach Ertz versus Green Bay. OBJ versus Pittsburgh. Pick two. Okay. No OBJ. I think he's still dealing with that shoulder injury. He could be limited if he even does play. So you got to make a decision on Zach Ertz tonight or Zach Moss. I guess Zach Moss and Zach Ertz would be my two options at that point. XXXLex, hey, you've been commenting a lot. We appreciate you. Dolphins already came out and said Tua is our quarterback and we're happy. Yes, That's what Brian Flores says. But they say these kind of things all the time. Remember when John Elway said that Tim Tebow was their quarterback? And then he brings up Peyton Manning? If there's a better option out there, they're going to go with a better option. I know they could say all they want about this is our quarterback, this is our guy. Hey, this past offseason, yeah, Jared Goff is our guy. Jared Goff's our guy. Is that a good Sean McVay impression? Jared Goff's our guy. Yeah. I think that we're going to roll with Jared Goff in this offense. Nah. Sooner rather than later, you're going to have to realize what's going to win you more games. And Deshaun Watson is more talented than Tua Tagovailoa. And so there is still a real possibility that Sean could get traded. Yeah, say whatever you want about Tua. Like, Brian Flores could want to keep Tua, but upper management has the final say in everything. They could bring in Sean. Should I trade away Antonio Gibson to get Kareem Hunt and place him on my IR spot for later in the year production? Just from Chavez Girls. If you have depth at running back, sure, I would. And you can sacrifice Kareem Hunt being out for I think the timetable when he got hurt was 4 to 6 weeks. So at this point, it's going to be 3 to 5 weeks. If you can sacrifice that long, maximum 5 weeks, sure. And you're guaranteed you're going to make the playoffs because Kareem Hunt is a difference maker. Absolutely. But I personally, I'm fighting in one of my leagues. I have Antonio Gibson, and I'm fighting for a first-round bye. So I don't want to trade Antonio Gibson. I can't afford to get rid of any running backs at this point. I got to keep Antonio Gibson. Lindsey over David Johnson in PPR. I picked up David Johnson. I like Lindsey. I like Lindsey a lot more than David Johnson. I think David Johnson at this point in his career is not going to be as productive as someone who's younger with fresher legs as Philip Lindsay. All right. I think I might have time to answer a few more. Random Fun Generator, the Steve Wilkos Show, LOL, dude. Hey, I appreciate. Hey, you coming to the Halloween party? Are you coming to the Halloween party this weekend? It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. Great job. Please pick two to flex. Pittman, Emmanuel Sanders, Claypool, Elijah Mitchell, Booker, running back for the Giants. Thanks in advance. You rock. Hey, no, you rock. Pick two. Michael Pittman and Elijah Mitchell would have been my two. Francisco from ATL, yes sir, with the players play. Tight end, Ertz or Mo Alley-Cox? Zach Ertz. Mo Alley-Cox is 2 touchdown dependent. Jason Olivero, Callaway, AJ Green or Uzama in the flex. Half point PPR. Thanks. And you rock. AJ Green would be my choice. Opinion on Mark Ingram. Should I pick him up? This is from Keneal Spencer. If you're an Alvin Kamara owner, yes. If you're not an Alvin Kamara owner and you're in a 14-team league or more, then yes. But if you're 12-team or less, nah. Not worth picking up Mark Ingram. Steve Wilkos. I appreciate, dude. I love that everybody knows who Steve Wilkos is. Get off my stage, Steve. Can you do me a favor and not sit down on my stage? Hey, you want to sit down? Let me turn this chair upside down and you can sit on the peg of this chair, Steve. We asked you, did you ever sexually assault 22 different women? Deshaun, you said no. The lie detector determined. We're still finding out the results of that. The next Miami quarterback. Jerry Jeudy, Mike Davis, Kadarius Toney, or for flex PPR. Kadarius if he can play, but if he's a game time decision, I would go with Jerry Jeudy. Ooh, I got to go. I got to go here. Yeah, we're running out of time. Alex Katona, hey y'all, great content. Is Devontae playing or should I pick up Quez as insurance? Talk about Devontae Smith. I think he should be playing. And if not, then I would not pick up Quez Watkins. I one reception for 75 yards and a touchdown is just unreliable. I can't do that. Okay, let me answer a couple more, and then I got to sign off here. Would you start Cousins over Rodgers? This is from DB444. You know what? Yeah. I was going to say, nah, you can't. Yeah, why not? Kirk Cousins is killing it. Sure, why not? Antonio Martinez, Fault in Our Stars. Oh, dude, you know the movie. Fault in Our Stars. Oh, wait, what? Are you talking about the Shailene Woodley movie? Is that what it's called? Dude, I'm surprised that anyone knew what that was. Yeah, I watched it like a long time ago. I was like, what the? They have cancer. Fault in Our Starts, pun intended. Ha! Get it? Fantasy football. Dude, Antonio, that's funny. If I had merch, I would send it to you for because of that joke, but I don't. I'm going to go ahead and sign off right here. I'm sorry I did not have a chance to get to all of you guys, but continue to join in on these live shows, guys, and continue to leave your comments and your questions, and I will get to you guys. Hey, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. That's when I sign on, and I go on till whenever I feel like it. We appreciate you guys joining us for this episode of Time to Football. Thursday Night Football here tonight should be a good one. Number 1 team, Arizona Cardinals, versus the number 4 team, Green Bay Packers. With all that said, thank you guys for tuning in, and remember, get off my stage!